OFPG Voices is brought to you by the following sponsors. Board and Dice designs and publishes family and strategy board games. Two of their most recent releases are Tlacuaches and Terracotta Army. They have recently launched their ally program to lend support to underrepresented voices in the hobby. Flat Out Games makes family-friendly games that are simple to learn but have depth of strategy. Their games include Calico, Cascadia, Verdant, Point City, Deep Dive, and Fit to Print. Find them on social media at Flat Out Games. Hi everybody, I'm Starla.
I'm Mick.
And we are Our Family Plays Games.
Voices, yeah!
And welcome to our holiday special.
Yes, it is time to celebrate the holidays with some holiday spirit and joy. Yes.
And this week, just like last year, we have so many of our voices. Everybody who could attend came out, and they've got some great games to share.
Yes, you know, it's so cool that we get to see all our voices all together, all the contributors.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun time. 14 games, family.
Yes.
14 are going to be talked about. You maybe have to do some last minute gift giving. You know, you may have to run out and get something.
Yeah.
This is your good chance to get some good gifts. You know, you're going to have to really run real fast, y'all. Run real fast and get them.
Yeah, so they're sharing games from 2023.
Yes.
Their favorite games
of the year. Yes.
And we've got 14 different games to share.
14 stars.
Yes. So sit back.
Yes.
Get you a cup of coffee or some hot chocolate.
Yes.
And sit back and enjoy some of these wonderful games from our awesome contributors.
Here we go.
What is up, everybody? My name is Reggie, and you can find me at rolling.reggie all over the interwebs. Happy holidays, and my choice for the game of the year is Challengers. So Challengers came out in 2022, and Challengers Beach Cup, which is the sequel, came out this year. I'm so excited about this new version of the game and got to play it recently. Challengers is a tournament-style deck management game using a slew of seriously wacky characters, and you are going to be flipping cards against an opponent in a war style. In between each of the 7 rounds, you get a deck phase where you get to add new cards to your deck and call or remove any card you don't want. The biggest motivator for this is the bench. When you lose the flag, the cards that just got beat have to go to your bench. But cards of this with the same name get to hold the same slot of that bench. So if you get to 6 cards in your bench and then a 7th one would appear there, you lose the match. The 2 players that have the most fans, which is the victory points in this game that you get from trophies and other card effects, at the end of the game face off in one final championship match. Plays up to 8 players. It's really best at a even player count, although there is a robot character that is just an AI deck that you get to play against if you do have odd numbers. With the 2 versions, Challengers and Challengers Beach Cup, you can play a Giga Tournament, which goes from 9 to 16 players at 2 separate tables, which is really exciting. I would love to play this at a con, but Challengers has really just hit for me in person, has hit for me on BGA, and I feel like it is so replayable and it has the perfect balance of strategy and luck that I'm looking for in a game with a lot of people, and only takes about 45 minutes to play a full tournament. It really is a lovely game, and I am so happy to have played it so many times this year, and Challengers is my holiday pick.
Hola amigos, mi nombre es Daniel y bienvenidos a otro video aquí en Our Family Plays Games. Ya es esa época del año en el que compartimos aquí con ustedes nuestro juego favorito que salió en este año. Me costó muchísimo trabajo elegir el juego que fue mi favorito en este año. Y por eso quiero hablar sobre Age of Comics The Golden Years. Creo que todos estamos familiarizados y estamos conscientes de que recientemente han estado saliendo muchos juegos de mesa que tienen esta temática de los superhéroes. Yo los estoy disfrutando bastante. Age of Comics se trata de eso. muchas veces no nos ponemos a pensar de todo este trabajo, todos estos pasos, detalle a detalle que pasan pues las diferentes compañías, las diferentes personas para poder crear un cómic y sacarlo a las masas para que nosotros como los lectores podamos disfrutar todas estas historias que nos hacen sentir muchísimas cosas. Y de esto se trata Age of Comics. Age of Comics te lleva en el proceso de cada uno de los pasos para que estés consciente y tú tengas pues el razonamiento para poder entender el cómo se hacían los cómics en The Golden Years. Age of Comics utiliza el mecanismo de posicionamiento de trabajadores como el mecanismo principal en el juego. A través de un número de rondas vas a estar colocando tus trabajadores en el tablero para poder tomar las acciones. Todas estas acciones te van a producir puntos de victoria y también te van a producir dinero. Al final, quien tenga más es la persona que va a ganar en Age of Comics. Una de las acciones que puedes tomar en el transcurso del juego es contratar. Puedes contratar a el escritor y puedes contratar a el artista que van a ayudarte a pues hacer el cómic que estás tratando de llevar a las masas. Otra de las acciones que puedes tomar en el tablero es básicamente es el desarrollar, es el tomar esta idea que tienes de todas estas que se están mostrando enfrente de ti y hacerla realidad. Otra de las acciones que puedes tomar son las ideas. Esto se refiere a estos pensamientos creativos que la gente tiene que pasar y la gente tiene que pues tener, ¿no? Para poder traer esto del cómic a la realidad. Después nos vamos a lo que es la impresión. En ese punto del juego es cuando ya estás listo, tienes lo que es tu escritor, tienes lo que es tu artista y tienes esta idea del cómic, y es cuando las pones, pues las imprimes y estás listo para poder llevar esta idea a el público. Y por último tenemos la acción de venta. Esto se refiere a esta parte del tablero en la que vas a tomar el cómic que acabas de producir y llevárselo a los fans. Estos fans están pues obviamente sedientos y tienen muchísimas ganas de leer todas estas historias que estás creando, y de esta forma es como las llevas al público. De este lado tenemos la popularidad de tu cómic. Cuando te pones a pensar, cuando una nueva historia, un nuevo cómic está saliendo al público, pues todos estamos muy emocionados por leer esto, pero con el paso del tiempo la popularidad empieza a bajar, empiezas a olvidar. Entonces quieres mantener relevantes todas estas historias, y estas caminos, gráficas que nos está poniendo aquí el tablero nos muestra esa temática. Amigos, déjenme decirles que este juego se siente tan temático. De verdad, tuve la oportunidad de disfrutarlo y sentirme que estaba haciendo un cómic de verdad. Ojalá tengan la oportunidad de poder jugarlo, ya sea que lo hayan jugado este año o el siguiente año tengan la oportunidad de tener este juego enfrente de ustedes. En especial si los cómics es algo que está pues presente en sus vidas y que los disfrutan de la misma forma en la que yo lo disfruto. Por ahora los dejo con Age of Comics The Golden Years. Espero que tengan la oportunidad de jugarlo y nos estamos viendo en el siguiente año. ¡Felices fiestas!
Hey, happy holidays everyone. Clay here from Beer City Board Games. No matter what you're celebrating this time of year, you've made it through another one, and that's something to be proud of and something worth celebrating. When I sat down to decide what my favorite game of 2023 was, I had a fantastic problem. I felt like I had played a lot of really great games this year, and I was really struggling to choose between 3 or 4 that were released this year that I thought were amazing. But after a lot of deliberation, My favorite game of 2023 is Darwin's Journey. This game has you following in the footsteps of Charles Darwin and the HMS Beagle as he catalogs the species of the Galapagos Islands. You're going to be exploring the islands, collecting specimens to send back to the museum, and contributing to the theory of evolution. All while you're trying to keep up with the HMS Beagle, because if you fall too far behind, it will restrict how many points you are able to score at the end of each round. At this point, I think it's pretty difficult for a worker placement game to stand out and to really feel different from the thousands of other worker placement games out there. But this one definitely stood out for me. There are a lot of things going on in this game, but I think that one of its most defining characteristics is the fantastic worker progression mechanism. At the beginning of the game, all of your workers start out relatively weak, only being able to go to a few different spaces. As the game goes on, though, you can educate your workers by collecting seals and placing them on your player board next to that worker. So by the end of the game, you're able to send at least some of your workers out to take very specialized and powerful actions. And in another interesting twist, some of these specialized action spaces are randomized from game to game. So you'll need to focus on different types of education for each game. Collecting the right combination of seals on a certain worker will also let you hire one of your crew cards, which you get at the beginning of the game, and will provide you with a pretty substantial benefit. Another thing that I love about this game is how the different worker placement restrictions work. In addition to needing certain seals to go to certain spaces, there are also rules regarding how many workers can be placed in different types of spaces. And as the game goes on, players will be putting out their own worker placement spaces, which will earn them money when other players use those spaces. On top of all of that, the worker placement spots are organized on a journal on the main board. The first worker to be placed on a journal section costs nothing, but if you want to place a worker in the same journal section, if there's already a worker present there, you must pay money depending on the player count. All of this provides just the right level of stress for a worker placement game because you're never guaranteed that spot you want. There's also bookmarks, which are used to make the journal section smaller for lower player count games, which helps to keep the board tight. The way that the game scores is a little wonky because it will depend on how many species were discovered and how much you've contributed to the theory of evolution. It took a player or two to get used to, but once you've got it down, I think it's a very interesting scoring system. Like I said, there are a lot of things going on in this game, and I can really only scratch the surface in this video, but if you are a fan of heavier Euro-style board games, definitely recommend checking out Darwin's Journey. And hey, I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. Cheers, everyone.
What's up, folks? I'm Dwayne
I'm Alicia.
from the YouTube channel BlackBoard Gaming. There are a lot of great games that came out in 2023.
And a lot of games that we still have to get to the table.
Well, games that you still have to get to the table. I've been getting it in. You know, I have a quota, okay?
Excuse me.
So, but there's one game that we both played that I think we agree that is probably our favorite game of 2023. And that game is World Wonders, published by Arcane Wonders.
Well, World Wonders is a polyomino tile placement game where you're placing various types of tiles in your city.
Yeah, you're placing tiles on your city. Like, these tiles represent like markets and farms and temples and libraries and habitations.
But the main thing you're trying to place in your city are wonders of the ancient world.
Yeah, and these wonders are represented by these detailed wooden tokens that are beautiful on the table. You know, and pretty much you don't just grab these wonders and tiles. You have a certain amount of currency that you begin with in each round. And what you're doing is you're spending that currency to buy the tiles and the streets and all that stuff.
But in order to get the wonders, you have to use all of the currency you have left. So you have to decide when the most opportune moment is to snag that wonder that you're eyeing.
Yeah, because the wonders have certain requirements, and you're trying to meet those requirements before the other players. But like I said, it could cost, like, they don't have a specific cost. You just spend the rest of your money and you're out for the rest of that round. So you have to really think about, like, do I want to grab this before she grabs it? Or do I buy a couple more tiles before I finally can grab it, you know? And yeah, it has that push your luck element to it.
Yes. So this game, one of the things that I really love about this game is just the connection to history. And so I love that part of it. And I love any game where you're building up a city. So I love that part of it.
Yeah, you do like your city builders.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a great game. I love the crunchiness. This game does it because, like I said, you're trying, like, do I get this now or do I get it later or whatever? And it has a beautiful table presence.
The table presence is stunning.
And the best part is when you finish your game, you're looking out at your city, and the cool part, you might have the Colosseum sitting next to the pyramids of Giza.
Yes.
Or you might have the what's the statues of Easter Island over next to the Great Wall of China.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, this is a great game, and I think you should definitely check this out. This is our choice for favorite game of 2023. See you guys later.
Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Tanya Pobuda, schooled by Gru, and my game of the year is Lands of Gelzer by Sammy Lasco and Seppo Kukaz-Järvi. For me, the story is the thing. I love story in games. In fact, when I play games, I'm often pursuing the story at the exclusion of some of the mechanics. So Lands of Gelzer is right up my alley. My partner and I loved Dale of Merchants when it came out, and this basically happens in the same universe, filled with cute animals, or animal folks. My partner and I really like co-op games. That's because my partner tends to be one of the cleverest people I have ever played board games with, and I am a sore loser, so I prefer co-op with my partner. My partner tends to be very app-resistant when it comes to games and doesn't like the idea that you have to depend on, a third-party application to play the game, but we like the idea of a story-driven mission and campaign so much, my partner bought it anyway. We played it this past weekend and set up every part of the campaign. My partner played a scholarly salamander, and I played a resourceful, scrappy polecat, and it was a really fun time. So this holiday season, we're staying home, we're playing games, I am definitely not working, and I wish you all the best with your family and your play groups this holiday season. Stay safe, stay healthy. Being part of the Our Family Plays Games channel is the best thing I do all year. All the best to you and yours this holiday season. Wishing you peace and happiness and tons of time to game. Thank you so much.
Happy holidays, OFPG family. This is Marcus Ross from Waterbear Games, and my favorite game for 2023 is Thunder Road Vendetta Maximum Chrome from Restoration Games. Designers Dave Chalker and Brett Myers. It's a reimplementation of a game from 1986 designed by Jim Kiefer, just called Thunder Road. It is kind of wild for a modern pick. It is a roll and move, take that player elimination game. Those are the three things that tell you not to do in game design. They're just cardinal sins. And honestly, that's just how the game plays. That's where its mechanics. But the truth is, it's a storytelling game. The game has kind of a Mad Max post-apocalyptic destruction derby sort of feel. This is not a deeply strategic game at all. This is a thematic, ridiculous game. There's a very quick resolution system to everything that could happen in the game. If you run into another car, well, you roll a couple dice and it tells you which car goes where. If you don't like the result, the bigger car can choose to re-roll it. That's it. It's a very quick and easy system. If you end up behind someone, you shoot them. You grab a die and you roll. And depending on the size of their car, you hit them or you don't. When they take a hit, you draw from the hits deck and it shows you what happens to your car. Do you fly off in another direction? Do you blow up? Do you just take a dent and move on? In any case, it's all quick resolving and it all just builds a narrative. Your car might bash into another car and that car could fly off the road, or maybe it'll slide back into you and do another collision. It is just a ridiculous story every time. The cars are spaced out in such a way that you really can't hide from anything. The other cars will get you. The road will get you. There's glass, there's fire, there's all sorts of hazards and little surprises. You just don't know what's going to happen in this game, and it's fabulous. You're going to have 3 cars in the helicopter, and you will not finish the game with all 3. There's no chance. You are going to blow up a lot. Like, here's all the ways you can die. If you run off the road, you die. If you hit a ramp sideways, you die. If you hit a rock, you die. If you end up underneath the helicopter, you die. If you catch fire and explode, you die. If you fall too far behind in the race and the track is removed with your car on it, you die. I mean, you could also win the race by just making it to the finish line, but the finish line doesn't even appear until someone is dead. The game has all the narrative of sitting on the floor at 12 years old, smashing your Hot Wheels together. And as wild as this game is, Maximum Chrome takes it all the way to different levels. It includes several different expansions in the box, more drivers, more power-ups, more cars. You can be a fleet of motorcycles instead of 3 cars. You can be a big rig. It is a fantastic, just unexpectedly deep system for how relentlessly silly the game is, and I couldn't be more thrilled. It is 100% my game of the year for 2023. All right, see you guys next year.
All right. Now, we had a lot of games
Yes.
we could have picked
Yes.
for one of our favorites of 2023.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
There are a
so
lot of
far.
games
Yeah,
we played.
played some good games.
You know, we had to narrow it down to one.
Okay.
Now, I know we've got a lot that we love,
Yes.
but I think this one is the one. This
Really?
Is it. Yeah, this is it.
All right. Let's hear
All
it.
right.
Let's do it.
So,
let's do it.
our pick
Yes.
for 2023, one of our favorites,
One of my favorites.
Wild Tiled West.
Dire Wolf Digital.
Yes.
Yes. This 2023. Yes.
It is an awesome game, 1 to 5 players.
Yes.
I mean, we've had so much fun with this game.
So much.
Introducing it to other people.
Yes.
I mean, the artwork is cute and quirky.
Yes, it is.
The theme is just all over the game. It's just dripping with theme.
Yes.
I mean, it's got this Western theme where you're building your own little towns and you got to fight off bandits and you can rustle cattle. You can go to the saloon. I mean, it's just got theme everywhere.
And you know, the cool thing about it is it's really kind of, you know, new gamers can kind of get into it a little
Yes.
bit because it's not that hard to understand and the rules are not crazy. Plus the dice rolling.
The
that
dice
is the
rolling,
coolest
yes.
part because it's 2 different type of dice that you mess with. And then you get tiles about where the dice end up on this big old like kind of buffet. You got a kind of
buffet of tiles.
A buffet of tiles. And you have either the river or the prairie, and that's where the different dice go.
Yes.
And the dice on the river are blue, and the dice on the prairie
Are
is green.
green, yes.
And it's really cool how you select your tiles. It's a really fun game.
Yeah, you've got
It
these
is.
polyomino tiles, and you've got your own little player board.
Yes,
Where
and
you've got these different cities you're
cover
trying
it
to
up.
complete.
Yes,
and you want to
cover it
get
up.
the tiles that's going to help you complete the different cities.
Yes.
Because that's how you get points.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's just a fun game.
It
and
is.
you know, just go get it. If you can get it, go get it. It's a
Yes.
fun game.
Now
Yes, it
it's
is.
fun at 2. Now I know it says 1 to 5 players.
Yes.
It's fun at 2.
Yes.
But we played it at 5.
Yes, we played at 5.
And it is just exciting.
And we played at 4 too. So,
Yes.
but I think all the player counts really go well. But if you can, the higher the better. I
Yes.
feel the higher the better.
Because that opens up more tiles
Yes.
and gives you more things that are available to
Yes,
you, the more
yes.
people that play.
That is so true.
Well, we did a playthrough of Wild Tile
Yes, we
West.
did. Yes, we did.
I was not happy with it.
I was so
not happy.
with the results of the playthrough. Yes, I was.
Love the game.
Yes.
Did not like the results of the playthrough, though.
I love the family. Yes, I love it.
Yes, because he won.
Yes.
It is a fun game. Regardless of that, it's still a fun game.
Yes, it is. Come on, this is Direwolf now.
The
This is Direwolf.
gameplay is fun.
Yes.
You can build your strategy. There's so many things you can do in this game. I mean, it's just an awesome
Yes,
game.
it is.
So if you have not played Wild Tiled West,
Yes.
go look it up. Look it up.
Go find it, family.
What is going on, everyone? This is your boy Jazz from the Lobby of Hobbies, wishing you and my OFPG family a very happy holidays. Now we're here with that end of the year holiday video, gift giving guide, gift suggestions for that family member, that loved one, that friend that you might be looking for that last minute gift, but also that game that potentially stood out for us as that possibly the 2023 game of the year, or the game that probably just maybe not be 2023 but just stood out for us this year. And I'm talking about White Castle this year, not the little mini cheeseburger slider franchise. I'm talking about the Himeji Castle in Japan. We are talking about White Castle from Devere Games. Now this one is a dice drafting, dice placement, worker placement type game. It is a Euro game that you are going to be playing over the course of 3 rounds, and you are in control of your family clan, and you're trying to position your family clan into various positions throughout the White Castle and around the White Castle to score the most points. Now, like with most Euro games, I'm a very big fan of dice placement, worker placement type games, and in those games, maybe you're gathering a bunch of resources, developing a strategy and a plan to ultimately score the most points. Now, with just 3 rounds, every round you only get 3 turns in the White Castle, which is not much. 9 turns in this game, which is also what I love about this game, because strategy starts from the very first move you make. And on your turn, you're going to be drafting a die from a dice pool and placing that die onto various positions of the board, or maybe your own board, to activate actions. Now, you might activate an action that lets you send one of your warrior clan members to the training grounds to help defend Himeji Castle. You might be sending one of your garden members to the gardens to pretty much tend to the grounds, or maybe sending one of your courtiers to the castle themselves to work themselves up the castle into a higher, more noble position to score more points. But not only are you placing your dice into various positions to activate these 3 areas of the board, you might also be activating actions around Himeji Castle to gather more resources and activate more abilities to do. Because as you activate these actions, you're going to get potential subsequent actions, and how you combo those actions is really what's going to be the heart and meat of this game. Now, it is a tight Euro game where it doesn't seem like you've done all you've wanted to do at the end of the game. But for me, I enjoy games that are like that because I just want to get right back to it. It doesn't feel like it's taken a long time. Yeah, an hour and a half, 2 hours might have passed by, but you're ready to just jump back into it again. And that's what this one does for me. So if you are a fan of dice placement, worker placement type games where the turns seem very tight and limited, but they kind of open up and you kind of get stronger as you create your decisions, this is one that might take maybe a play or two to really kind of develop a strategy. This one might be something you want to check out. But what makes it even better is that every single game there is a variable player setup, but also main board setup. So not every game will be the same. So if you're a fan of that, if that sounds like something you want to check out, definitely check out from Devere Games, The White Castle, who have been putting out hit after hit. So without further ado, happy holidays, and I'll see you on the next one.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to OFPG Voices. I am Melanie with Mal's Board Game Room, and welcome to the year-end episode, and Merry Christmas. So we are each talking about our favorite game of 2003. There's been a lot of great games in 2003, but before I talk about that, I just want to point out that in September, I got to visit my hometown in Point Canoe, New Brunswick. I now live in Alberta, Canada, so Alberta is very much inland, and I hadn't been back home in 5 years. So when I got there, the smell and the sound of the ocean just was, I didn't realize how much I missed it, and it was just an amazing trip. And while I was there, I got a bunch of decorations for my house that was more nautical themed. I just craved kind of that taste of home. After that trip, I ended up playing Everdale Far Shore. Now, I have never played Everdale to date. I still haven't. I hear amazing things. It's not by on purpose. I just haven't had the chance. But I was attending a convention and I got the chance to play Far Shore, and I may not ever try Everdale at this point because I was just blown away by this one. Now, granted, from what I understand, Far Shore is about 90% the same as the regular Everdale. You have so much going on that's just so interesting. So you have the cards you're collecting that you're trying to make work with each other. There's a resource you're collecting to be able to acquire those cards. There's the outer track that you're going on. And there's these scrolls that you can get that'll give you points as well based on what you've accomplished on your tableau. So amazing. The game was a lot of fun. What really won me over, mostly following my trip back home, was the nautical theme of this game. First of all, the artwork is just beautiful. I have a pet turtle, so I always like to see turtles in board games, and then this was a really cute one. And then the components. You have all of the sea glass that actually look like sea glass. I have walked the beach so much picking up sea glass throughout my entire life that it was so neat to see that. The seashells that kind of had that little shell feels to it. The seaweed with like the almost the icky feel to it. And the little lobster. My dad was a crab fisherman. My uncle was a lobster fisherman. This theme of the game just won me over. It just gave me such a feel of home. And I didn't really realize before playing this game how much I appreciated this theme in a board game. Just because I hadn't come across it quite to this extent as I did in the Everdale Far Shore. So it was just an amazing game. I loved every moment of playing it. I don't yet own this game, but I will. Just the gameplay was amazing, but the components and the feel of home that it gave me just made it so homey for me that it just blew every other game from 2023 for me. Just this one just took place number one in my heart. So I hope everybody has a great holiday and a Merry Christmas. Bye, everybody.
Hello. I'm Jen Cam, and holy St. Nick, I can't believe that the holidays are here and it soon will be 2024. Wow. Wow. It has been a crazy year full of games and conventions. I actually went to 5 conventions this year. And the game I have chosen for my pick of the year, I actually got to learn from the designer while I was at Origins. I have been so hyped about this game that 2 of my professors are actually gifting it for Christmas. But I guess it should be no surprise that the future history teacher has chosen Votes for Women, designed by Tori Brown and published by Fort Circle Games, as my game of the year. Votes for Women is a card-driven game covering the American women's suffrage movement from 1848 to 1920, culminating in the ratification or rejection of the 19th Amendment. In other words, on your turn you can play a card, perform an action, And the cards are probably the thing I most appreciate about this game. You know when people talk about putting your heart and soul into something? Let me tell you, the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is in the cards. Almost every single card in this game has flavor text that gives you information about the person, place, or event that is depicted on the card. For the suffrage deck, we have cards depicting the box women in New Jersey, used to protest their lack of suffrage, Ida B. Wells Barnett, and Inez Milholland. Even the anti-suffrage cards give context as to how hard these women fought for suffrage. In that deck, you find cards like the Woman Patriot, which was an anti-suffrage newspaper, the Patriarchy, and the 1918 pandemic? Anywho, as a suffragist, your goal is to convince Congress to pass the amendment, and you do this by playing cards and taking actions to move these columns onto the board. Once you have 6 columns, you move to ratify the amendment. At this point, whichever side has 4 cubes in a state automatically claims that state. This is the hard part though. The suffragists need to control 36 states in order to ratify the amendment, but the opposition only needs 13 states to defeat it. Now, when I was at Origins, I did get to play 2 versus 2, and I played as the opposition. I know, crazy, right? If you want to check out how the solo game works with the Opabot, make sure you check out my playthrough over at GenCam Plays Board Games, because OMG, just like in real life, it came down to 1 vote. 2023 has been an amazing year, and there were so many great games. I have to admit, it was kind of hard to pick just one, but Votes for Women has been so much fun to play on either side, and I just really appreciate all the love and care that went into the creation of this game. So I think that pretty much wraps it up for me. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays, everyone. I can't wait to see you in the next year. Bye-bye.
Hi, OFPG family. Ruel here, and I'm here to talk about my favorite game of 2023. Now, it's been another great year of games. There are a lot that could have made this top spot in my list. Sky Team, Earth, The White Castle, Forest Shuffle, so many good ones, and it was really tough to narrow it down. And you know what? There's still time for me to play what could be my favorite game of the year. I still haven't played Nucleum, Barcelona, Darwin's Journey, Scholars of the West Tigris, so who knows? But as of right now, I've got a selection that I think blows everything else that I've played this year out of the water, and it is my favorite game in 2023. It is Last Light by Roy Canaday. It is a shining example of the 4X mechanism. Explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. Yes, this is not a Euro game. This is Ameritrash or Amerithrash, however you say it, through and through, and it's just so much fun. It's basically a race to 20 victory points, which is the light, 20 light. You're trying to gather the last light of a dying universe, and before it blows up, you've got to go out there and blow some ships up and take over the universe, basically, and get the points. So in it, you're going to be leveling up your tech, you're going to be mining resources, you're going to be trading goods, you're going to be constructing ships and extractors, and oh boy, it's so much fun. I've really enjoyed all my plays of this, and it comes through so brilliantly because of Roy's decision to put simultaneous action selection into his game. And I love that decision because everything plays so quickly. The only command, or the only card that you play that doesn't trigger simultaneous action is the command card. So that one you do have to play in turn order because it could lead to combat. And combat's super simple to figure out here and to implement. You're just one player rolls dice and you either hit the ship or you don't. I love it. But there are ways to mitigate that through your tech. And that's what's so cool about this game. Roy's taken, Twilight Imperium or Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea, and taking that 4 or 5 hour experience, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever, however long it takes, down to an hour. I played it at various player counts, and it's always been an hour. Now, granted, most of the time Roy's been there to sort of help us along, but I did play a 2-player game with my buddy Daryl all by ourselves. We messed up some of the rules, but here's the thing. That 2-player game still took only about 40 minutes, and that's with using a dummy player or an AI. Folks, it's so good. Now, if I was going to nitpick it a little bit, I feel like the theme doesn't come out as strong as like Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea or Twilight Imperium, but that's okay. I think it's worth it for the streamlined gameplay and just how much fun you can play with all types of different gamers. Even if this isn't their type of game, just say, hey, instead of sitting for 6-8 hours, we can knock it out in 45 minutes and you'll still get the same experience. So at least give it a shot, right? The components are outstanding. I mean, the planets, they look like a customized version of Twilight Imperium, to tell you the truth. They're just brilliant, really lovely colors, vibrant on the board. You've got this rotating board where, the planets spin around, so you're never that far away from your opponent, which is great. And I cannot rave enough about this game. I think it is just a masterpiece in design, and kudos to Gray Fox Games for the quality production, and shout out to Roy for creating such a wonderful game. And that's why Last Light is my game of the year for 2023. Okay, so on behalf of my family, I just want to say happy holidays to all of you and yours. Be safe out there and be kind to each other, and we'll see you next year for more gaming. Bye, everybody.
Hi there, your solo gaming pal Lexi here today to talk to you about my favorite game of 2023, and that is gonna have to be Bot Factory. I super love this game. I was super happy when I heard about just the idea of Bot Factory coming out, simply because I super love Vital Lacerda's games, but unfortunately these days I just don't have the brain power or brain juice to try to work out all of the nuances and rules and fun things that come along with learning a Lacerda game. I super love them, but just these days I am so low on energy that it is tough. So in Bot Factory, it is a game for 1 to 4 players, plays about 30 to 60 minutes, and is a competitive game. We are put in a factory setting and we are working for a woman named Sandra, and we are all competing to build the best robots so that we can get a promotion to make more money. In the game, you are going around collecting contracts on a separate board, so that you are basically committing to which kind of robots that you're going to build, and then you have to go get permits to be able to build said robots. Then after that, you have to actually go out and collect the robot parts, and that's my favorite part actually, because of the board that comes with it. Ooh. So this thingy here spins around in a circle, and you have the chutes that shoot the parts off. So you kind of have to play with the wheel and get it to spin how you want it, so that you can get the parts that you need for your specific robot before somebody else steals them from you. After you have all of your parts, naturally you've got to put the robot together, so that's a whole separate thing. And so there's a separate board where players have areas to assemble their robots. After you have your robots, then you've got to sell them, and so on and so forth. I really like this game just because it's meaty enough. The solo mode is really cool. You're playing against a bot named Vila. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, hopefully I am. And Vila, you set up like you're doing a 2-player game, and she interacts with the board a little bit differently, and the actions kind of stockpile, to break it down quite simply. And then it's a beat your own score solo mode, so you're just trying to beat your previous scores, and then once you're all done with the game, you compare your score against the chart to see how you did. I really like it. I think it's great for gamers who are looking to get into something a little bit heavier without going like way into the deep end. It's a nice way to share Lacerda's work without scaring people off, because they can be big, beefy games. I hope that you guys all have a happy holiday season and that you're doing well. Thanks and take care. Bye.
Hello everyone, I'm Amanda Panda. I'm primarily a board game live Twitch streamer. I usually do board games, but sometimes I do arts and crafts and sometimes video games. I stream 4 times a week. That's Tuesday at 3 Pacific, Thursday at noon Pacific with Phantom Meeple, Friday at noon Pacific sometimes with Book of Nerds, and Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific. I hope to see y'all in the chat or around, and happy holidays. Now, in 2023, I did play a lot of awesome games, but this one really stood out for me. It is a game that was published in 2022, but I loved it for the whole past year, and I have to say this is one of my favorites. So I have to choose for my game of the year. It is it is Planet Unknown. Yes, my green screen's kind of messing with it, but this is from Adam's Apple Games. This is such a good game. If you love polyominoes, definitely check this one out. In Planet Unknown, this is a polyomino game where you're going to be picking pieces and placing them on your planet to move up the tracks and get points. There is an event deck that will happen each turn or round. The active player will go ahead and rotate the Lazy Susan and stop where they want to either pick up one of the two pieces. This will also give the other players around the table their two pieces that they can choose from. So on your turn, you're going to choose one of the two pieces and you're going to go ahead and place it on your board. Based on what you chose, you get to go up the tracks. So for the red rovers, you get to go up the rover track. For the blue water, you have to touch a water, you get to go the water track. There is black civilization tracks. There is the green biomass tracks. And then there is the gray tech tracks, which is this one over here. If you place down a piece with one of these, you put down a meteorite onto it. And when the rover gets onto the board, they go start on anywhere on the piece that it was placed, and then you move them based on the number that the track state says. And the rover will run around picking up meteorites, picking up these pods so that you can get points instead of just destroying them, and that opens up the space so that you can now place a different piece. There's also end game goals, but these goals are only between you and your neighbor. So you'll have one per neighbor. So you and this neighbor will be going against each other trying to win this goal. Your other neighbor will go against this one, so you'll only be competing against one person. The other way to get points is by filling up complete rows and columns onto your planet and going up the different tracks. The tracks will give you points, they'll give you synergy to go up other tracks, they'll give you these 1 by 1 biomass pieces that will allow you to fill in the rows or columns. The tech track gives you more special abilities. The civ track gives you different cards that give you either points or different abilities, and you also get points for the pods that you've picked up and every 3 meteorites. I love this game. There's a lot of variability because these boards have a universal side where you can all play the same, or there is a symmetrical side where each of them has a different slightly different tracks with slightly different points and slightly different technology, so that you can play a little bit differently. The planets as well also has your universal planet, but also different ones with slightly different rules, starting positions, and so forth. This is a really fun polyomino game that I really love. This version that you're seeing is the deluxe version. The retail version has a single layer board for this one, not a triple layered. These are wooden cylinders. These are wooden stars. You still get the really cute little rovers, but you don't get the clear storage piece. You just get the flat base for the Lazy Susan. Oh my gosh, this is one of those games that I play so much on Sovereignty. It's on Board Game Arena. The physical is just so lovely. This is one that you should check out if you can find it on their website or ask your friendly local game store to get it in. Check out Planet Unknown. It's one of those games that's great for people who love polyominoes or who love like one of those strategy games. It looks great, it feels great to play, and definitely one of my top favorite games of 2023.
Hi, welcome back to another Voices episode. We are the Nerd Shelves. I'm Judy.
And I'm Michael.
Thank you, our family plays games to include us in this holiday season.
Holiday episode.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about what is our favorite.
Our favorite what?
Game in 2023.
Our favorite board game from 2023.
Not accessories, but today we're going to talk about games.
Talk about games, yes. So, because there's two of us, we've each picked our favorite board games from 2023.
It is very hard because there's so many fun games.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Every year.
Yeah. Yeah, it was tough to choose.
Yes,
yeah.
But we pick one.
I was surprised with my choice, to be honest, but when I really sat down and thought about it, this is my favorite game, and I was surprised with your choice.
I'm not surprised with yours.
Okay, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Well, let's talk about it. You go first.
My favorite for 2023 is Point City. This is published by Flat Out Games
Yes.
and is designed by Sean, Molly, and Robert, the very fantastic team. Basically, you lay out 4x4 of cards, and on the cards, one side's building and the other side's resources, and you basically collect those resources and to build the building.
Right.
And they also collect points at the end.
Yeah, exactly. It's very similar to, well, it's the sequel to Point Salad,
Yes.
where they have the double-sided cards.
Yeah, and there is also a civic token that you can to get more points later on. It's just so fun.
It
I love
is great. It is a great game. And another great thing about this is that it is super for families.
Yes.
Yeah.
Family friendly, and it played quick too, 15 to 30 minutes.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
The reason why I was surprised that you picked it, not because I don't think it's a good game, because I think it's a fantastic game, but it's more like a filler game, and it's pretty light. It's not one of the heavier games we played this year, and I thought for sure you were going to pick one of the heavier ones, but I'm kind of glad you picked this because it's a great little game.
And to be honest, I'm just very busy at 2023, so this is perfect.
That is a very good point. We've been so busy that the filler games have really...
All the heavy games has been collecting dust on the shelf. Sorry for those. I will play them next year. But this year, something quick, something super fun and family friendly, and just it hit the sweet spot. I love it.
Great.
That's my top choice.
Okay. So, my favorite game of 2023...
I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised? Is...
Dun, 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 dun.
Star Wars, the deck building game from Fantasy Flight Games.
How could you not love it?
Well, yeah, I mean, okay. It may not be entirely my favorite game, but when you mix in the Star Wars theme to it and how well it integrated the Star Wars theme into the gameplay.
Perfect.
It was so great for me.
Yes.
So, as the name suggests, this is a deck building game. If you've played Star Realms, then you are no stranger to this. It's very similar to Star Realms, but with the Star Wars theme. But, like I said, it really integrates the Star Wars theme so well. There's even a force tracker that when the force goes towards you, you get benefits, and all of the cards have all the different characters. You can find Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, and their abilities fit the characters very well. It was really well thought out, and I thought the design of not necessarily the mechanics because it followed Star Realms, but just the way that the Star Wars elements were put into it, I thought was really thought out and it was really brilliant.
It's not complicated, yet it hit the sweet spot of a quick play, a fun play, and every character come out, you have a story about it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, like if you want, so there are other great Star Wars games out there, like Star Wars Rebellion, for example.
Yes.
But these are big, huge, meaty, long, heavy games.
Yes.
Whereas this is, like you said, really quick, almost a filler game, maybe just a little step up from a filler game.
Yes.
But this just really hit that spot for me. I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so obviously I'm going to love it. But I loved Star Realms too, so that's why it was my favorite game.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Me too.
So that is our top choice board game for 2023.
Yes.
How about you?
I can't wait to hear what everybody else chose this time.
Yes. So until next time.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, this concludes our holiday special for 2023.
Yes. 14 games.
14 games.
And a lot, it's some really good games. A lot of them I really
totally
do like.
agree.
Yes, they made some great choices.
Yes.
They did. Yes.
And we just have to say thank you to our awesome contributors.
Yes.
We had Reggie from Rollin' Reggie.
Yep.
And Daniel from Tlacuaches in La Mesa.
Oh, yeah.
Clay from Beer City Board Games.
Oh, yeah.
Dwayne and Alicia from BlackBoard Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Tanya Pobuda.
The doctor.
And Marcus Ross.
Yes, the designer. Yeah. And we also had Jazz of Lobby of Hobbies, Melanie of Mel Board Game Room and up in there in Canada, and also Ruel from Tabletop Tonight, Jen from Jen Can Plays Board Games. Go check her out. You got Alexis from Alone, Not Lonely, and also Amanda Panda, but on Twitch she's Panda Angel, and then also Michael and Judy of the Nerd Shells, also up there in Canada.
Yeah. Thank Thank you guys so much.
Yes.
And thank you to our awesome sponsors, Board and Dice and Flat Out Games.
Yes. Thank y'all. We love y'all. And check them out, family. Check them out.
And our next episode is January 3rd, so don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
We're going to be doing something new.
Now, Starla, where can they find OFPG and OFPG Voices so they can go subscribe, tell other people to subscribe, and also find out what we're doing, and also that website. Don't forget that website.
Yes.
We're doing good on there too, yeah.
Well, if you're looking for Our Family Plays Games and OFPG Voices, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right here on YouTube.
Right here. And also TikTok now.
And TikTok, that's right.
TikTok.
And you can find us on the web at ourfamilyplaysgames.com.
Yeah, now family, thank you so much for coming out and see all these beautiful and wonderful voices. It's just, we just got a kaleidoscope of great things going on. Now next year, we're going to change things up a little bit. So I'm just letting you know, you better come and check out that next episode because we're going to be doing some things. But thank you so much for coming through again. Hey, you have any questions or comments, put them down below so we can talk about it. What games was your favorite in 2023? Let us know down below. Now, family, also, it's one thing we want you to always know. We love you.
Bye
now.
everybody.